Suzanne in Colorado.
No, I'm from Minnesota.
Oh, hi. Minnesota Miracle.
I hope so.
That's amazing what happened there. Does anybody know what happened there? I mean, we'll go over it, but wow.
Minnesota.
I'm talking to you, yes.
Okay. I just called to see if Trump's convicted and in prison, how can he run a country and get out to do all this diplomatic things, where he can't do it in prison, like on a furlough or whatever?
A furlough. No, I mean, but there's nothing in the Constitution that says that the president has to be unjailed, or the president can't be a felon, or the president can't be in custody. There's nothing in the Constitution with regard to, the status of a president. The requirements are simply an age requirement and a naturalized American citizen. End of story. So if he's in prison, that's not a reason that he couldn't be sworn in. This is just the way it is.
No, but how can he govern a country in prison?
Poorly. I mean, he would do it even worse than he did when he wasn't in prison and trying to get into prison.
So he can get out on like good behavior to do, like presidential duties?
No. Why are you saying that? Why are you adding to the story? The story is that he would be in federal custody if he is convicted of the Espionage Act. Well, the Espionage Act, I think, would be the one thing that he could not hold an office of honor after being convicted of espionage. Then he couldn't be president, okay? But anything less than that, let's say it's just obstruction of justice, or just a seditious conspiracy, something like that. Listen, if it's just he's in jail for, stopping a congressional procedure, which has a penalty of 20 years, he could still be president of the United States.
Oh, that's sad.
It's pathetic.
But I have other things to talk to you about, but that's all I wanted to talk to you today about. Well, I enjoy your show.
Okay, thank you. Keep drinking, honey.
No, I think she wanted you to
You didn't understand that woman was plowed when you screened that call? You didn't.
I didn't.
I mean, we're not screening calls for hostile people. We're not screening calls because you disagree with me. We're screening calls because some people are like day drinking.
She didn't really expound, so I didn't get a chance to gauge it. But I think she wanted you to guess on how that would work.
First of all, Minnesota is a miracle. So the fact that she's from Minnesota, that was a good leap off, okay, for something that I wanted to explain to everybody as good news today. Minnesota, the Minnesota miracle. That should be a model for every Democrat. And what's crazy is day drinker there, a rosé all day, T-shirt wearing, loving, a woman there, doesn't even know that what happened in Minnesota is a freaking model. It is the blueprint for how and what Democrats can accomplish if you would just vote that way and give us the House back. I mean, we're only 4 seats down in the House of Representatives, for God's sake. You have this tiny little majority that Kevin McCarthy is, swaggering around, waving around, whipping it out, and, trying to knock things off the desk with his 4-seat majority, threatening to default the United States with his 4-seat majority, right? And then in the Senate, you need 60 damn votes to do anything. So if you would actually give America 60 senators in the next election, just keep on voting Democratic, and then fix the House, because it's so gerrymandered that the House is the toughest thing, right? Because the districts are divided so that you lose your ability to choose Democrats in your district. But anyway, if we got the House and the Senate back, Minnesota would be the model for what to do with that kind of a majority. They are referring to what happened in Minnesota as the Minnesota miracle, which is getting no attention, and it deserves tons of attention because it is literally an avalanche of progressive legislation And they're doing it with a 2-vote majority, a 2-vote Democratic majority in the Minnesota House, and a 1-vote majority in the Minnesota State Senate. So a very slim majority, but they also have Governor Walz. Okay, Governor Walz is also a Democrat. So it's sort of a trifecta. And it is a once in a lifetime opportunity for Minnesotans to get exactly what they need and deserve from their state government. And so listen to the stuff that they've already codified. Listen to the stuff they've already done in this short little period of time in Minnesota's state House, state Senate, and signed by Governor Walz, okay? They codified abortion rights. You now have paid family and medical leave, sick leave, transgender rights protections, driver's licenses for undocumented residents so that they can work, restoration of voting rights for people when they're released from prison or jail, better voting access, one-time rebates, a tax credit aimed at low-income parents with kids, $1 billion investment in affordable housing. It includes rental assistance for people who can't afford to buy housing but rent. But wait, there's more. They adopted background checks for private gun transfers, private gun sales, yes, and a red flag warning system to take guns from people deemed by a judge to be a threat to themselves or to others, to beat back the scourge of suicide and gun violence. They banned conversion therapy for LGBT people, legalized recreational marijuana, expanded education funding, require a carbon-free grid by 2040, adopted a new reading curricula based on phonics, passed a massive $2.58 billion capital construction package to do your infrastructure. And at the insistence of the Republicans, added a $300 million emergency infusion of money to nursing homes. That was the only thing that the Republicans asked for, was a $300 million infusion of money into nursing homes. Do you know why? Nursing homes are owned by private equity. Everything is going to be owned by private equity. In fact, if you don't believe me, go look in the homework today. There's like massive stuff on private equity buying everything and what we will look like once they are complete with their purchasing of all of our housing, purchasing of all of our rental units, purchasing of all of our senior living centers. In fact, in Succession, if you caught it, I don't know if you caught it, there's a scene close to the end where the mom of the 3 kids and her boyfriend, he's trying to explain to them how he's going to become a private equity firm and he's going to buy all these nursing homes. And they won't really live like we do, but it'll be, bare bones and okay for the old people so they don't have to live on the streets. I swear to God. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.